Alright, to start off with the SMGs, this is a Mac 10 Neon Rider Stat Track Factory New. See, it has stickers from like the weird skull candy sticker collection they did with like the faces and stuff like that. It's kind of silly. So why did I end up with this Mac 10 Neon Rider? Well, back in the day, that makes me feel really old saying that, when there were not many good Mac 10 skins, this was probably like a top 3 minimum out of all the options that were available. Like, we didn't have the other red Mac 10, we didn't have the flippin' Mac 10 Fade or whatever as choices, so this was the one. The whole like neon pink and blue vibe makes it really bright and nice looking. Colors really pop. It's actually like kind of nice. You know, compared to today's skins, this is like average, but back then it was probably one of the better looking skins. And it was really cheap too, because it was for the Mac 10, which, you know, isn't really a super desirable gun. I think I got this bad boy for like $10. It's pretty neato. So I feel like the stickers also really fit on this gun because, you know, it's got the whole like skull on the helmet kind of vibe that's like, what is it? Oops. It's like on the flipping thing. And yeah, the motorbike rider and stuff like that. It's all kind of like the weird aesthetic. The stickers are like hollows too, so I think they really like glow nicely, which adds a lot of like a little bit of additional color to the gun. And sort of all of its references also comes down to the name tag. The name tag, as you can see, when I expect it to go skrrr. Basically what this is a reference to sort of is just how you're supposed to use this gun. What is a good SMG without, you know, the running gun with it? Like, look at that. That is a pretty easy to control spray pattern. Like, I could probably just like really focus down somebody with it. And, you know, I think that it's really cool because it's like a super fast and aggressive gun that pairs with a super fast and aggressive playstyle with the skin. And yeah, I think that's what makes the Mac 10 pretty cool to me. So that's my Mac 10. Alright, here is my UMP45. This is a Stat Track minimal wear Primal Saber. Why only minimal wear? Well, I wasn't really thinking when I bought this, so I'm pretty sure I just bought the first Stat Track one I could find, which was a minimal wear. This is a pretty cool one, actually. This is just like the Mac 10. This is like a really nice and bright skin. It's very interesting. It's very different. A lot of the UMP skins tend to lean on the more dull side, so having one like this made it really nice looking. And also, a really nice thing that helped me out are sort of these stickers that I put on it. These are Flash Gaming Boston 2018 stickers. Notably, this would be the team that would replace Ty Lue at the major after Ty Lue was forced to bow out early. I think something that works really well with these Flash stickers is also the fact that the Primal Saber skin is supposed to be the skull of like a weird cat thing. Like, you can see that's sort of like the reference to it. It has like the big front teeth and like the back of the skulls on the handle and stuff like that. So it, you know, the stickers match. The sticker's also blue, which I think also really helps make the gun pop a little bit more. So, you know, you got the dark blue and the bright blue with the white as the background base. It makes the gun look really sick, in my opinion. Though I don't really buy the UMP that much. It's not my most favorite gun to use. I used to like it a lot, but then I sort of gravitate more towards the MP9, the Mac 10 as my anti-eco guns. I normally buy this if I'm like really desperate. There's not really much more to say about this. I think this is just a very interesting looking skin. It has nice colors, some nice looking stickers. These Boston 2018s are really nice, by the way. It just looks nice, and I'm really happy with how the stickers have turned out. Alright, next up we have the PP Bison. This is a PP Bison Osiris Stat Track Factory New. This one actually is a little special to me. So for those of you who remember, Operation Breakout was in like 2014, 2013. It was a long time ago. And this was one of the first skins I've ever unboxed because I believe Breakout cases were the most common case at the time because they were new. So I ended up opening a bunch of these PP Bison Osiris's and also stickers. I think there's this one old sticker, the crazy banana foil or something like that. It's just a banana with holding a knife with like a really open eyes. It's really messed up. I'll put a picture up for you to see, but basically I put that banana sticker on a Bison Osiris and called it the Banana Bison, which is just a really silly idea. It's just the yellow on yellow, you know, the bananas, the B Banana Bison, the PP Banana Bison, weird alliteration, yada yada, just very silly stuff, which I think, you know, it was fun. It was like actually the first sticker craft I've ever done in this game. So the only issue with that old craft was that it wasn't a Stat Track gun. I'm kind of a sucker for Stat Track. I love seeing number go up when I use my guns. So I ended up making this one. I called it the Banana Bison Mark 1.5 as sort of like, it's supposed to be a sequel to the gun. Yeah, it was just really silly. I still have the original one, of course, but I have this one equipped just so Stat Track. But even though, as you can see, I only have 160 kills on it. That should give me an idea of how much I use the Bison. I don't really use it at all. So I guess it's just a really silly skin that I really love. The Bomb Dog is one of my top 5 favorite stickers in the game, and it sort of leans into like the sort of the meme factor of the gun. Like, it just does no damage, but it has not much recoil, so you can very easily just send a million bullets downstream and just mess somebody up if they're not ready for it. Though I doubt you'll actually be able to truly mess somebody up. I can't imagine you ever actually doing much more besides like one surprise round with it. And yeah, it works. It's a little retro, not the greatest, but still special to me in a lot of ways. Alright, and here we have my MP7. I believe this is a MP7 special delivery factory new. As you can see on this gun has some very special stickers on it. It is 3 100 Thieves Boston 2018 Hollows. Boston 2018 was actually a very interesting major. 1, because C9 won it, of course, and 2, because there were 2 teams that were both technically eliminated before the major even started. One of them was Tyloo, which I talked about earlier. That's why Flash Gaming replaced them. And then 100 Thieves. This was supposed to be a Brazilian roster signed by the org, but they basically imploded and withdrew from the major like days before it came out. So the stickers were very quickly pulled from that market. So these are very hard to get, but they look so nice. Like old foils or old hollows just were it, basically. Nothing could compare. How did I end up with this one? I got it as part of a trade, actually. What is it? I was trading with some dude back in the day, and we were like ever so slightly like off, but like enough for it to be a big enough deal for me to sort of say like, man, like you gotta give me something else here. He just tossed this in. This is a bit of an interesting one. Yeah, it came with all these stickers on. He was like, this is just a unique item that will be very hard to sell, so I'm just giving it away, so you can just have it. And I've just had it as my place skin ever since. I don't think many people have MP7s like this. It's, you know, weird sticker combo plus gun, and yeah, that's really it. I don't really use the MP7 that much at all, but it's nice to have a skin that's really unique and interesting with stickers that are very rare. Like, I don't remember what the going price for these is, but it's a lot. Anyway, without rambling on too much, you know, the MP7, I don't really have much to say. It's a nice gun. I wish I used it more, but I know at the same time, logically, it's really not that great of a gun to buy, because even though it's like does good damage, has easy to control spray, it's just too expensive to justify as like an anti-eco weapon or like a save gun. It's much better just to buy a cheaper SMG and use that instead of this. I did a funny, since this is called a special delivery, it's like packaged and stuff, I called it the messenger because, you know, don't shoot the messenger. Very silly saying. It's like a small pun. That was it. There's nothing like too much deeper than that. It's you know, the messenger shoots back when you shoot the messenger kind of deal. So yeah, you know, it's nice. I like it. I'm just glad that I have a gun like this. It's very, very exclusive, very nice. Alright, here we have my P90. This is a StatTrak something Death by Kitty. I don't actually know the float. I should have checked before starting this segment, but we're already in too deep to reverse it. So before I used to use a P90 Asimov, and I realized that the Asimov on the P90 doesn't really do it for me. Actually, the only gun where the Asimov actually like looks nice to me is the op. I don't know if it's because of like nostalgia reasons or anything like that, but it just doesn't look quite as good on the P90. So I immediately started looking for a P90 that would be very strange, very wild and wacky, something that really captures the energy of the gun. Just like the stupid nature of it, like you're just running at somebody holding left mouse, don't stop and they'll die. You know, very SMG play style, very like this is the very essence of the SMG vibe. And I found something that was quite, I think fits quite well. The Death by Kitty, I believe it's called. It's really, like, as you can see, the skin is very colorful, very vibrant, and kind of crazy. It's like a very all over the place. If you don't look closely, it just looks like somebody just vomited colors all over this thing, and I think that makes it kind of exciting for me to use. It really fits the vibe of what the gun is supposed to be, and I sort of tried to lean into that vibe by just putting more rainbow stickers on it. I got like the hollow stickers from the animal capsule, the hamster with the rainbow mohawk. I think it's really cool. That being said, I don't actually buy this. It's the same issue as the MP7. It is very expensive. It is actually over $2,000, which is more expensive than like the Galil and the FAMAS, which that is wild to me. I just think it is. Let me check. Yeah, it's $23.50. More expensive than the FAMAS or the Galil, which makes it quite unusable. I would rather have something that could compete more range than this thing. And also, I don't know, the gun just hates me. I just cannot kill anybody with it. Unless it's like, no, I thought about it for a sec. No, I just can't kill anybody with this gun. But yeah, it's cool. It's a very fun looking gun, and I definitely probably would buy it more if I was like not playing competitive as much. Like in deathmatch and casual, it's fine. But in comp, I would never willingly buy this gun unless we were like 15-0 and just trying to do something silly. But yeah, that's my P90. It's wild and wacky, just like the gun itself. Alright, to finish up the SMGs, we have here my MP9. This is a Stat Track Factory New question mark Rose Iron. So I guess the backstory on where this SMG got its name from comes from what I was currently studying in high school at the time. Basically, I was in a performance of Romeo and Juliet during my junior year of high school, and if any of you are Shakespeare scholars, you might know that one of the more famous lines that Juliet says in her famous "Wherefore art thou, Romeo" speech is the line, "If I were to call a rose by any other name." I believe that's the correct line. If not, feel free to correct me in the comment section below. But it's a pretty easy thing, you know, it's a rose. That's why I went with the name tag "by any other name." And then also, it's also perfect that one of the stickers in the game is also a Shakespeare reference. You see the "to be or not to be" sticker, which is a reference to Hamlet in the Hamlet's talking to a skull speech. It's a pretty simple little neat reference. And I just really like this skin also. Even though a lot of MP9s have come out since then, this one is very unique with its like colors, its vibe. Like it's just a flower with like the red and orange on black. That's a very striking color combination that not a lot of skins actually have. Obviously, I could be wrong. I am not really a skin expert. I've just kind of like looking at skins. But the colors, the sticker, the reference at the time really makes the skin come together for me, and it's just a really cool skin. As a proper CT player myself, I will very much often be buying this skin on my anti-eco round, so it's nice to have a skin that's very nice looking, helps me stay focused. Not to say that good skins help you stay focused, just it's a good thing to have, and for a skin that I'd probably be seeing a lot, it's definitely not an eyesore. So yeah, that's everything there is to this gun. It's a very nice looking skin. It's a pretty topical, with on point with what I was studying when I first got this skin. Oh my god, high school was so long ago. That's crazy, dude. Alright, we're going to start off rifles with a gun that I do not have a lot to say about. This is a Scar 20 Splash Jam Minimal Wear. I only have this skin because I just like it more than all the other Scars. It's definitely very unique. You will not see a lot of these ever in the wild. The reason why I don't have a factory new, getting a factory new is very hard. I think there are like 50 of them in existence. There's a video by Anomaly where he says the real number, so you can just go watch that if you don't get the number from me. So again, what makes me like the Splash Jam more than any other Scar? Well, it's honestly just the colors and the pattern. Like, it's a very unique looking pattern with a very nice looking color, and it's just like a nice little Scar that I have that's unique. My initial choice would have been to go with a Cardiac, but I think for a gun like this, I just want to have something that's definitely not with the mold. Like, a Cardiac is much easier to get than a Splash Jam for sure. The nickname "Welcome to the Jam" is kind of just like a silly meme video that I saw a long time ago. The section is short because I don't know much to say. It's just a nice looking Scar. I never buy it. Screw everyone who does. Alright, much like the Scar 20, I do not have much to say about my G3 SG1. This is a G3 SG1 Chronos from the Gods and Monsters collection. I believe it is factory new. If not, you can just fact check me by looking at my inventory. I don't really care enough to check. Basically, this is also kind of like the Splash Jam. It's a little unique, a little harder to get. Not many people probably have it because the Gods and Monsters collection does not drop that much anymore. So you may have noticed the name tag Krovos. Now, what does Krovos mean? Well, if you are an avid fan of Red vs. Blue, and whatever year it was, the years, seasons like 16 onward with the Shizno Paradox trilogy, well, you would know who Krovos is. Krovos is the main villain, the time god of the Red vs. Blue universe, who is trying to enact his will over the universe by making everybody stupid. And he does this through the will of an evil character who is the trickster god, who becomes so evil, ends up becoming Krovos. Now, if that didn't make any sense to you, I do not blame you. If you watched Red vs. Blue at all before that season and stopped, you probably are happier with how the show ended. That being said, this is kind of just like a silly reference to that. I don't really have anything else to say about this gun. I got some cool, like, you know, mythical beasts on the stock. That's kind of it. I'm not really gonna say anything more about this. Both this and the Scar, I just don't like. Like, go away. Alright, here is my FAMAS. This FAMAS is a Stat Track Factory New commemoration from the CS20 collection. Basically, this FAMAS exists to celebrate CS's lifetime. For a game to be over 20 years old, or even over 10 years, even over 5 years old, and still be a mainstay of the online community, that's pretty incredible. I sort of try to just make this as sort of an homage to it. The name tag "Here's 20 More" is sort of just saying, you know, let's keep playing this game until I can barely move my hand to shoot and spray. and the sticker, the CS20 sticker, 20th anniversary sticker. It's all sort of in celebration of this game's long and amazing history. The game's older than I am at this point, and it will probably forever be older than I am because that's how time works. Now, besides that, this gun is nothing more than just a celebration piece. I will buy it if I have to on like low buy rounds or like half buy rounds, whatever, and mabobber. But the truth is, I don't really like the FAMAS. I kind of hate using it. It's just a gun that has a little more range than SMG, and it's cheaper than an M4 if I have to like be desperate and want a rifle. But yeah, that's kind of a simple explanation of what I think about the FAMAS. The gun skin, like I said, is very commemorative. That's what I like the most about it. I'm not really one for all the gold, but just because it's so much of Counter-Strike's history on one gun that I just have to use it. Maybe a better FAMAS will come out that I will switch to. We'll see. I personally haven't been intrigued enough by any of the other FAMAS skins to switch, so for now, this is it, and I will forever remember the game it represents. Alright, and for my Galil, we have a StatTrak Chatterbox. I forget where this is. It doesn't really matter. This skin is probably my favorite Galil skin ever since it first came out. And that's not like some copium take, is that there aren't that many good Galil skins. I actually do genuinely think this skin, even if like we got like a much cooler looking red Galil skin come out, I probably wouldn't replace it. And that is because of one really, really fun feature of this gun. So when I inspect it, you can see that the main skin itself is a skull on a yellow background and stuff like that. When this gun shoots, the skull's open. So like, I'm opening his mouth, I'm making him talk. Isn't that really fun? That's, yeah. Anyway, that's why I like the gun. It's very funny. It's very, very wacky looking. It's about as good as I could expect for a gun that, again, like the FAMAS, I'm buying on low buy rounds, saving rounds, stuff like that. I sort of tried to lean more into like the skull aspect. You see I have 3 rising skull stickers, I believe is what they're called. And with that, you know, I scrape them up to make them sort of match how beat up the gun. The gun always looks beat up, by the way. I believe it has like a float cap of like field tested. I'm gonna say well worn. Maybe I don't know. Fact check me. That well I'll say. But yeah, it's pretty silly. Credit to my friend Connor. You know who you are if you ever watch this video. I don't think you will, but they named this gun. I was simply like, yo, I need a name for this gun on my loadout. What do you want to call it? And I showed a picture, and he was like, calcium potassium boy, because, you know, bones for the calcium, and then yellow banana for the potassium, and boy, because, I don't know, it's probably more meaning than was ever actually thought into the naming of this gun, but that's kind of it. I'm really happy with the gun. I've had it for a while, but I don't really buy it unless it's a really bad situation economically for the T side. It's still a nice little gun. I like it a lot. It'll definitely stay above other Galil skins for me in the future. Alright, here for my AUG, we have a factory new Akihabara Accept. I've had this AUG for a long time. So much for a long time that it's probably like triple what I got it for. Something about this skin that you may not know, since it's very old and very hard to find, is that when it wears, there's actually a little heart that shows up near where the, I guess if you look at the back of the stock where the 23 is, you can see the scratches of it forming right there. I used to have a field tested one for the heart, but then I sort of realized, even though the heart is really nice, the rest of the skin kind of looks bad when it's all scratched up like that. So I, bit the bullet, went in, traded up to a factory new one back when trading was easy. To that end, I do think, even without the anime aspect, I do love this AUG. I love like the pink on whites on purples and stuff like that. It's a very neato color situation for me. And I think that really makes it sort of unique, because I don't know if there are many other AUGs that have like this kind of coloration. The AUGs that definitely have cooler looking patterns, but none are quite as unique as this one. This is also, I believe, one of the first actual anime skins, because it was in the Rising Sun collection, which I believe also has the hydroponic and stuff like that, which was a very like Japanese aimed collection, which I would kind of wish they would like do again. But that's a thought for another day, topic for another video. For now, it's just it's a nice little AUG. I put the anime CT killer on the black bit to sort of keep colors all over the gun. It doesn't look that good though. Like, it kind of just like, her face kind of gets all droopy, but that's not really the point of it. It's just a nice looking AUG. And to keep up with the whole anime theme, I gave it the name tag Omaiwa Motion Deiru, which is, the famous "you were already dead" line. It's great. I love it so much. So yeah, that's a little bit about this AUG. I can't really give you like the full history of it. It's just the AUG I've used for the longest time, and I don't really intend on ever switching it. It's just too precious to me to switch off at this point. So yeah, that's the AUG. Alright, so for my SG skin, this is a souvenir factory new SG553 Integral from the New Inferno collection. The Inferno collection, you could say. That was a terrible pun. Anyway, this is a pretty neato skin, actually. The major it's from is the Face It London major from 2018, and it is autographed by Skadoodle, back when they still did autographs for their majors. That's pretty crazy. This is a little bit of a special one to me because, if I'm not misremembering my facts, I believe the Face It London major was the last major that Skadoodle ever played for C9 professionally in, and, you know, the last one he ever played in CSGO. You know, he's off doing his own thing now, and I respect him for it. It's pretty cool, but he was always sort of one of my more, liked players from the NA scene. The whole I Power thing, that was pretty unfortunate for him. Whether he was active in it or not, I don't want to comment on that. It's just that he sort of had this really crazy story of being one of the oldest NA players still left in the scene, rolling around to 2018. He was about to retire even. He just played in the major and stuck with the team just because he was nice and really chill guy. So I sort of enjoy having a skin that is sort of part of his history in the game, whether he didn't actually sign the gun, but it's still a cool memento to have, going along with the theme of keeping pro mementos and stuff like that. This is a good one to have. And it also helps that the skin itself is very nice. I could have easily found a really crap tier SG that was autographed by him and used instead of this one, but no, I really love this skin. I think it works really well in a lot of different settings. Just the colors, it's very bright and vibrant. I just love the dualies as well from that collection, though I would never actually use them because I'm not really a green person, but I'm really down with the whole red blue contrasting onto white. It's a very nice, and those little small details, the red, white, and blue could also be the USA flag, even though it most definitely is not supposed to be, but it's just a fun little thing that I've always sort of had about this gun. As far as using it, I never really used it, even when it was the best option, during that small period of time when it was the best gun in pro play. And even now it's not really the greatest. I don't know, I just can't deal with the fire rates. It's so slow. It's really hard to use sometimes. But yeah, that's sort of it. Just quick thoughts on the gun. A few thoughts on what the gun means to me. I really like this gun, and again, this is probably one of the skins I will never get rid of. This is my M4A4. This is a StatTrak factory new Desert Strike. So something about the Desert Strike has always sort of drawn me to it. It's not the flashiest skin. It's not even my favorite M4 skin personally. I have a lot of thoughts on that, but something about this one has always sort of been special to me. It's a very unusual red skin in that it's not that bright. It's the dark and tan. Meanwhile, most M4s, or most red skins in general today, are trying to be very colorful and very vibrant. This one sort of a little low key, and I don't remember how it got into the game, what collection it's from. It's just a cool M4 that I remember seeing one day, and I was like, ooh, that's sick. So a fun fact about this for the skin wise is that I believe this is the 10th lowest flow StatTrak A4 Desert Strike. So yeah, this A4 has been part of my inventory for many years now, especially since I made that video. As you can see on the stock, there's a signature from the pro player Alex. I think that's very funny. My name is Alex, or Alexander, but I go by Alex a lot. So it's just cool to have my name on a gun that I use most of the time. It's really sick. Means a lot to me. I have the longevity foil and the rage foil, just sort of reminding myself of the various emotions you can go through while you're playing a game or Counter-Strike. It's all about the long game. You're trying to think about it, and the short-term rage that sort of rises up when you're trying to keep things under control or things will go your way. It sort of helps me find my emotional balance, kind of like putting a yin-yang on the gun, but there's no yin-yang in the game, so I can't really do that. So this is kind of a way to do it. Also, I have the teamwork foil. This came on the gun when I bought it, I believe. It's just a way to sort of also, another thing to sort of tell me, work with your teammates. You're not alone. Your emotions are only what you can manage, but there's a whole game with other people in it that you're playing with. It's a lot of sort of subtle meanings and stuff that I was admittedly not thinking about the hardest when putting these stickers on, but over time I've sort of appreciated past me for doing this because it's given me this emotional center and this anchor to reality while playing the game, while using this gun. Even though I definitely do still struggle with tilt a lot, it helps me have a reminder. This M4 means a lot to me. I've had it for a long time, and I really appreciate it. It's a very personality-wise me kind of gun, which I appreciate a lot. This is my AK-47. This is a StatTrak factory new Jaguar. As you can see on the gun already, If you are a true CSGO skin collector, you'll know that this is one of the legendary Pink Panther crafts. This is not a true Pink Panther craft because it only has the I by Power paper on it. So a little bit of a story. So in my other loadout video, you'll know that this isn't the AK I showed. The other AK I showed was a red line that had a big dick energy craft on it. So why did I switch to this one? As funny as it was to use an AK that was just a penis joke, this one is a lot more subtle. Not a lot of people have Pink Panthers, and the people who do will very rarely ever get rid of them. So getting one itself was hard. I believe I purchased this AK-47 off of OP Skins when that site was still a thing. Yeah, that'll make you feel old if you were around for OP Skins, huh? The really special part about this skin to me is that, like many of the other skins, it's a craft that I made myself. I did not buy this with the I by Power on it. I bought this gun and an I by Power separately and made this craft myself. Now, I definitely couldn't have done that with I by Power hollows because even back then they were still very prohibitively expensive to get. So I wanted to sort of make like a budget craft. So that's why this gun has sort of stuck with me for all this time. I will always be buying it. I will always have it equipped to some degree just because the idea of this craft is very appealing to me. I think it's a very, very neat craft. Very hard to make. You know, you can try it with Flash Gaming, you can try it with newer I by Powers. You can do it with Fira if you're really working for it or really want to try to stretch. But nothing quite hits as hard as just the blank, no background I by Power just fitting right onto the head. And I guess what makes it even cooler for me now is that even though there's the new AK, the Panthera Onca, which is basically a copy-paste of the Jaguar, it just doesn't hit quite as hard as this one does. Having the black outline or the black silhouette of the Panther just is so much nicer than the cheetah that they have on it, which makes it even more special to me. Like, this is now just even cooler that, you know, even Valve tried to sort of make a new thing. It was just the worst copy, wherever the meme, every masterpiece has its cheap copy kind of vibe. So that's what sort of makes this skin really special to me. The AK as a gun in CS most certainly needs no introduction. It is the objective, most good gun that most good players should know how to use. So yeah, that's sort of my journey of this gun. It's very special to me. Will not get rid of it for anything in the world. I've said that about all of my guns. That's true for all my guns. I don't even need to say it anymore. I won't say it anymore after this. Alright, this is my SSG08 skin. This is a factory new Detour with a lot of very interesting stickers on it. Now, this is yet again another pro player memento kind of deal. So, back in the day, Overpass was a pretty bad map, and it got changed a lot. But one thing that has sort of been this really funny meme of Overpass is just all the boosts that you could do on this map. If anybody watched the DreamHack 2014 major or knows about it, you'll know that there was this very controversial boost that was found in CT spawn. One that you could use to look down into flippin' water of all places. You could basically get half the map with one really sneaky triple boost. Now, Fnatic was the team that knew this. They were the first team to use it in a pro match, and that basically was one of the biggest controversies. I think a lot of people, it never really quite left their heads just about how slimy Fnatic were as players. Now, why do I bring this up now? Why is this skin so important? Well, the SSG Overpass, or SSG Detour, is a part of the Overpass skin collection, meaning that during that match, you could get souvenir SSG Detours that had the DreamHack sticker and the Fnatic and LDLC sticker on it. As you can see, this is not those stickers. These are not the gold souvenir stickers that we are used to seeing. So I tried getting one, like a real souvenir from that match, but I couldn't at the time. They were too expensive. Nobody wanted to trade with me, and they've only gotten hard to get over the years. So I took it upon myself to sort of make one of myself. I bought the best float Detour I could find at the time, which I believe this is factory new. Got all the stickers and made the craft. And I made sure to put Olaf Meister's signature on to really commemorate the main person being boosted up to make it happen. So that's sort of why I have this, and the reason why it's on a Scout specifically is also because it works. I could have chosen an op, but I used a Scout because the Scout was the first gun that he used to actually do it. So that's sort of what I have, my connection to this Scout, my connection to that moment. It's kind of funny. I have two Fnatic themed guns. Yeah, I used to be a big Fnatic fan. But yeah, that's the cool detail about my Scout. And yeah, that's, you know, the end goal is to definitely get a real souvenir, but that is a very far away goal. Alright, so for the last gun I'm showing in this video, this is my op. This is a op StatTrak Factory new Lightning Strike. Now, this is a very old skin. In fact, I believe it is the first ever red skin they put into this game in a case, all the way back in Weapon Case 1. Now that is historical because it is the first red skin they made, and if you've ever watched the Valve GDC presentation on how they made their skins, the funny part is that they didn't expect players to like these skins. They were like, no, they'll probably want like the camo skins, the stuff that's more grounded, but no, they were so wrong. They were oh so wrong. This op skin, I simply got it because it was just my favorite op at the time, and I've kind of just kept to it since. The interesting thing about this op is that I'm playing on high settings right now for this video, and you can see that it is very bad looking. Looks like a compressed image. There's little jagged edges. There's no anti-aliasing on the texture. It's just a very bad texture, and that's what makes it just so funny to me. This was the first covert great skin they put into the game. I even lean hard into the meme of calling it lightning.jpg because, you know, JPEG compression, lol, funny meme. And I believe I checked in Source 2, it just doesn't look better. It is just the same texture, which I think is amazing. I think if they fixed it, this game would honestly be ruined for me. So, like, it has a lot of charm for being the first skin, just how bad it looks. But also, that just makes it even cooler to me. It's very basic, just the body texture. There's no scope, barrel, mag texture. Definitely, like, the start of something, but not what we had back then. And, you know, just sort of, because of the sniper, I couldn't not put the MLG phase foil on the scope. That is definitely just makes every time I use this, I just have to hit shots with it. Otherwise, I'm not living up to the FaZe Clan name. So yeah, that's I don't actually go for trick shots. I'm a terrible hard scoper. So, you know, maybe the FaZe sticker is frowning on me. I shouldn't be. I shouldn't have it. But, you know, I do my best. I try to appeal to the sniper gods as best I can when using this. But yeah, so that was my op. Again, a little bit of a history piece, a nice piece, just a meme piece, all in sort of one. Well, congrats. You made it to the end of the video. That was a long one for sure, so I appreciate it if you've watched this far. So to end off the showcase, there are two things that I haven't shown off yet, which are the two knives that I use. Just go over them pretty quickly. I'm not really going to try to spend too much time on them because the video is already really long, but a basic idea is for CT side, I use this M9 bayonet Doppler. This is a black pearl. I think black pearls are really unique because even though they're not quite as flashy as sapphires, rubies, or emeralds, I'm just really into it. It's like kind of dark, it's very low key, and yeah, that's a little dippity-doo-dah on that. On T side, I use this Karambit Doppler. I believe this is a phase 1. I believe this is the third lowest float phase 1. Yeah, that's 4 zeros. Corners pretty okay on play side. I just have this because I think it's pretty cool. It's not really like I'm too committed to it. Obviously, I'm going to try and trade into something that's a little more exciting, but that's my T-side knife. I guess, as I said earlier, I do appreciate it if you've watched this video. I will be making more CSGO related videos to my skins later, maybe. I've had a lot of fun talking about all this stuff. It's good to finally sort of complete a project that I started a long time ago. And I guess anyone who's watched that video and came here, I appreciate you as well. So thanks for watching.